Okay, so this is pretty refreshing to see, and welcome back, by the way. But this is a few days ago. Actually, no, this was just yesterday, and I've heard certain things from this actress before, and again, I don't really base most of my life and worldview opinions on what a Hollywood celebrity would have to say, but Gal Gadot does seem to have some pretty based, or at least rational, realistic opinions when it comes to the way people portray or view female characters in cinema. She rebukes Hollywood's misogyny narrative, saying that moviegoers do want to see movies with women if the story is good. 100%. God. I remember loving the terrible Resident Evil movie with Mila Jovovich. I remember Fifth Element. Mila Jovovich was awesome. I remember first watching Terminator 1 and 2 thinking that Linda Hamilton was a badass. I mean, look at Sigourney Weaver in the Alien franchise. We love strong women if they're done well. Think about all the fans of Cara Dune, Gina Carano in The Mandalorian, before they screwed her over. So it is funny to see somebody actually stand up and say this, and there's been a couple more like it, but not very often. But this feeds directly into what we're going to talk about now, which is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dementia, Dial of Geriatric Diapers. This movie, oh my god, there's so much to talk about. And no, I am not going to go see this movie. No amount of bad Applebee's food where they're giving away free tickets could possibly convince me to go see this movie. So I saw the article yesterday about how the female co-star, I would say lead, because honestly she kind of takes over the leading role in this movie, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who, again, an actress I've never seen in anything, but apparently she's in some movie called Fleabag, and that's where she got her big break. I don't know. Talked about how glorious and funny it was to punch out Harrison Ford's character in the movie. Now, spoiler alert, not that this matters. Who the hell's even watching this movie, to be honest? Her character has to stop him from making a bad choice, staying behind in the past where he's dying, alone, and miserable. She knocks him out and drags his sorry old ass back into the present. I mean, how pitiful is that? That's essentially the end of the movie. The bad guys are defeated. He's left in the past. He's miserable. He just wants to die old and alone in 200 BC or whatever. And she has to knock him out and drag his sorry ass into the present. So now you've got Harrison Ford coming out saying how her character teaches Indiana Jones how to love and laugh and live again. This man is 80 years old. And I know that Indiana Jones isn't 80. I would assume, okay, 1940s, he was probably in his 30s. So let's say that the character is supposed to be at the most in his 60s. So he's probably looking at, well, maybe I've got a good 10 years left. That's not very long. This man has basically, at that point, in the 1940s to 1960s, if you get to be in your 65, 70 years old, you basically lived a full life at that point. So yeah, for Harrison Ford to say that is pretty asinine if you ask me. Like, look, I get it. Harrison Ford, he's a big old Hollywood lefty. They all are. So you can't buy into the character. The character is a character. It's a role that he's played for years. That's not who he is. He is Harrison Ford, the liberal Hollywood elite actor. That doesn't change just because he plays Indiana Jones. But what I do think is telling is that this movie, I've already seen reports that nobody's going to the movie theater, that there is just absolutely no interest in the movie, that people are just not showing up. People are going to go see this movie, and there's half-empty theaters. And we're talking 4th of July weekend. I mean, today, Saturday, there's people everywhere, but nobody's going to go see this movie. Then you look at the Rotten Score reviews, and this is very interesting. So you have this movie, which has been generally poorly reviewed by critics. All critics and top critics are kind of in the same boat, 58 to 67%, but somehow between the verified and all audience score, this movie is solidly fresh in the 80s, with over 1,000 verified ratings, over 5,000 ratings by all audience, but nobody's actually going to see this movie. I know that some people are. The movie is sitting at about projections of about 65, 70 million max for the opening weekend, and that's like the high end estimation. But I want to know who exactly are leaving these scores if nobody's in the theaters. And again, this movie has had so many problems. They've had problems with being over budget and behind schedule and having to do reshoots, and we all know the story about how this is going to be the last movie that kills Kathleen Kennedy's career and all that nonsense. Look, there is legitimacy to her finally being on her way out, but not because of her being fired, more about it, okay, the timing is right, the movie is wrapped, you know, she can basically take her golden parachute and sail off into the sunset. But honestly, this movie, I don't even know who's going to go see it. I don't know anybody who's going to see this movie. I don't know anybody who's even talked about it. Nobody's excited about it. Are you guys excited about it? Because literally, who could care less about this film? And I think the audiences, the half-empty movie theaters, that definitely is a testament to that just nobody cares. But I could be wrong. It's a long 4-day weekend. Maybe some of you out there are going to go see it. Let me know if you are, and we will see you on the next one.